live on Twitch and hopefully YouTube.
Yeah, that works for me. Thank you.
Cool. What's up? Bonus action heroes, Strahd this week. Good times.
Did with enthusiasm.
All's not working for me.
Oh,
Don't know why.
What isn't?
It says I don't have permission to browse the host file system when I do the import.
Oh no, I just imported you. I meant did it import, and I'll work
Oh.
out how to give everyone permission another day.
Oh, right. Well, it may have done, and now I've probably undone it again.
I'm doing it again.
Oops.
There you go.
There we go.
Whilst we talk about what we did last time, because I remember, I will put a credits thing up. There we go. So last time you had, well, last time found the bones of Saint Andrew by accident in Lady Vocta's house, which she apparently didn't seem to know about, and as you left you heard the screams of people in the streets and fires starting to light across the town, and quickly realised the vampire spawn had arrived to do their vampire thing. The first thing you did was take those bones to the church where you had a fight with a vampire spawn as they tried to stop you. All whilst this was going on, Alessander was saving the orphanage from burning down. Well, he saved the kids from being burned in the orphanage as a one-man band, and eventually he did beat that vampire and reconsecrate the church. At that point, Ludmilla turned up, who announced herself as the first consort of Count Strahd, and before she got to say much, you started attacking, so she buggered off and left you with a load of skeletons to fight. You then went to the town square where more things were on fire. Someone rescued Blinsky. Owen and Danica nearly died. Who brought Danica back, by the way? Someone did.
Probably me.
Yeah, I think Darzan
It was Darzan or Milton.
Darzan was playing distraction while Milton helped.
Cool. Yeah, you did that, and then when you were fighting, there were two vampires spawn in the square. You killed one in the process of trying to kill another. Was it Carl or Nikolai? Carl Vocta, the eldest son of Lady Vocta, died. And the remaining vampire spawn tried to get away. Alessander tried to following it up the roof. Alessander nearly fell off the roof as Ludmilla appeared and sort of said, "Hey, you're being disrespectful to Strahd.
Don't be dissing my homie."
Stop that shit, or there will be consequences. Hence, this festival." And then bugged off, and the vampire spawn managed to get away as well, despite Alessander's best attempts.
Tough rolls.
Yeah, we then had Alessander have a little bit of a nightmare, because I just wanted to get that in there before you level up. But we'll start with that evening. You want to be in the square, or I'll put you in the Blue Water Inn as if you were going to bed, and then you can decide what you're doing, whether you're taking watches. Olav fucked off. I thought he was fucking off in the morning.
No, he's gone.
Oh, Olav just walked into the darkness like some anime emo shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will fix you, Hazel. Not in life. That's too big a task for me. Just Alessander.
You're only a
You
DM.
probably have better luck than I do.
It'd be an interesting life. It wouldn't necessarily be good for you.
Well, it's still
So
better than what I've got now.
you don't know that. Shall we just have therapy? Shall we just stop this now?
Hey, if you find it'd be
This is
interesting.
therapy.
Then why is everything so miserable?
We're playing Curse of Strahd.
Why
We're
did
not
playing to our
cheerful.
trauma by creating new trauma.
Where's Hazel's character? Hazel, Alessander. Oh, I might just have to pull you all. I'm gonna delete you and pull you all back in because you're now a higher level. That's from when you were before. Olav, I'll leave you there so that you've got some vision whilst you're just hanging out with us.
Alexander, I think I did say he'd probably go check on the church for Irina and Myrtle and the other kids now. Now that he feels responsible for all of them.
Do you want me to take you there to RP any shit, or did you just want to check that people be alive?
Just want to check that people are alive, that the church
People-
is still standing.
Are alive. The church is still standing. All of the kids from the orphanage have settled down there for the night, as their building's a bit smoky. Irina and the young boy Yesik are trying to help those who have lost their homes or are just scared to go back out into the streets. So we're also going to stay there at the church for the evening. Father Lucian isn't there. You would, yeah, let's not make it a big mystery. If you asked, Irina would say he's gone to the town square as he heard his sister was arrested.
Okay.
And his
So who-
sister is the Baroness.
Yes. Okay. That makes things a bit more interesting.
You don't have cauliflower anymore, do you, Mick? I don't need to pull them on.
No, she doesn't.
And Crowford's dead, but the stream needs a thing, so... the ghost of Crowford haunts you. What do you want to do before / whilst going to bed?
Maybe we need to have a chat about this note that Dazin wrote.
Oh, that can wait until morning, I'm sure.
I think if the note couldn't wait until the end of a battle, it probably can't wait until morning.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm somehow not convinced of that. You should probably take a seat. Now, I can't remember. Did Alexandra read the letter over Milton's shoulder?
I passed it to
Last.
you.
Yeah.
In fact, you've probably still got it.
Did you want to do this downstairs in the inn or in your room upstairs?
Away from prying eyes.
Upstairs.
Fortunately, there's a table in their room.
It's paused.
Oh, sorry.
All I've got about the note is speak to Dawson about the note. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think Jim may have wrote that last piece.
That's what I'm thinking.
I may have popped into the server when it was on earlier to check some things, and
That's
added
what you were
that.
doing?
No, I was looking to see if there were any like notes or anything I'd made that I needed to check through. But while I was there, I saw that note and I went, "Oh, don't worry about it." I nearly deleted it, but that's a bit too subversive.
Saw you pop in, though. I was about to leave, so I didn't say hello. But it's nice to know that's what you do when the server's up.
Sabotage other people's notes. So, shall we just recap what was on this note and why you felt you needed to stop mid-battle to send this?
Oh, Alessander, as you walk in, this grey-skinned, bug-eyed creature appears like an inch from your face and goes, "What the fuck's going on? Where were you?"
Well, all hell broke loose.
It's like the Nine Hells out there. I
Yeah,
don't remember Graham's voice.
That's right.
At the moment, I can't even remember Hazel's voice, so I think... Sorry. I think we're okay. So, yeah. All hell has broken loose. Not sure I want to stay here that much longer, but things have settled down. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I was just in here. There's the dead one.
Sorry, what was that?
There's the dead one. I missed it, Olaf.
Oh, okay. He's no longer with us. He's not dead, or he's not re-dead. He's just
not undead.
gone.
I didn't like him, so that's
No,
good.
and he didn't like you, so yeah, this is probably for the best.
But he's still alive, dead, so he could come back and still hate me.
He could, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And I don't want you to worry about that. You know, haters going to hate. We just need to... We just need to keep ourselves above those people. Just don't you worry. We've tried to do our best to sort out what's been going on in town. Just settle down. It'll be okay.
We're all gone now?
Sorry, I've gone deaf. I cannot hear a thing.
They're gone now?
Well, they're not actively attacking us. I don't think they ever really go.
Okay. And he'll do they flutter? What does an imp do?
I'd say they can kind of flutter. They can flit.
Yeah, he'll flit over to the
Fiendishly
bed.
flutter.
To what has become your bed, Alessander, and just stuck himself in. And look at you expectantly.
Yeah, it's
Just
all
gotta
bone
have
and
a-
grizzle.
Share that just because he's I love him, he's a beautiful boy. Sorry, continue your fun RP.
Oh my god, he looks like a fucking xenomorph.
Yeah. It's a tiny Xeno baby. We're all quite tired, but we just need to have a chat with Darzen first. Then we'll go to bed. But you You go ahead, get some sleep. Must have been quite scary for you being here by yourself.
I hid under the bed.
Good thinking. If anything does attack you, you can leave for your own safety. That is okay. Do not stay here if it's...
It felt safer in here.
I believe it was. We're quite lucky that this doesn't seem to have been a major focus of an attack. It was mainly the town square and the church and the orphanage, but people are still alive, and that's what matters. Anyway, get some sleep.
Mushroom of Barovia.
Hey, I've got to have something in every campaign. We've still got to find out what Theodosius is, even though I think it might be Rawdon.
I think it might be. So I'll just ask then. Who was this note destined for? Inside check. Sorry, you need to answer first, don't you?
It's a long and awkward story, Milton. And after everything that's happened, I think I couldn't explain everything, but I think I like a little bit of time to figure out everything that's happened. It's been a bit of a chaotic day.
Yeah, it has.
But I think you've had long enough to explain this of your own violation anyway. We can take more time now. Because better for us all here if we find out what is actually happening within our own group.
I'm currently and at all times a bit uncomfortable. Does that help? It's usually what's happening with me. She looks around, not understanding. She didn't notice what happened with the note, so she's just confused to what that note is and what's important.
Oh, this is a really awkward situation you put Dawson in. I was really hoping this would have waited until the morning so that I could have figured some shit out first.
No, you've had weeks. Come on.
Yeah, but I wanted to have an RP conversation elsewhere to then be like, okay, well, I can answer in this fashion.
Through your pre-planned RP.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on, Darzin.
Darzin is sat there in a chair in the corner with all the other characters crowded around him, hands on hips.
Shine the light on his face.
Well, it was going to go to Castle Ravenloft.
Milton's jaw drops.
It was going to do what?
It was going to go to Ravenloft.
So you have contacts there?
Well, I've not been traveling around Barovia for a particularly long amount of time. And you know, the devil Strahd, he is aware of everyone who comes and goes.
Is that because you tell him?
No, he just seems to know on his own.
And the insight checks begin.
Does he know
Does
on his own, or do you tell him? What do you give him, Darzan?
Darzan has sent in. This is a very meta reasoning, but Darzan has sent a grand total of 1 letter to Strahd since he's met you. So you get the sense that maybe Darzan very rarely tells him things, but he generally doesn't really give much of a shit about doing it.
But he does do it.
He's done it once so far.
But he does do it, and
Yeah.
That's
that
what
is
you
have-
get from the insight check. If
You have an
This is
established
where
working relationship with him.
I'm gonna quickly just say, are you sure Olav doesn't want to be here for this and go away in the morning? Because I feel like this is going to be a thing.
Yeah, Olav will probably realise it's a bad idea to travel at night and come back to the inn.
Cool. Involve
I
yourself.
have to remember the accent.
Involve yourself. Add to the RP. I'm eating a lasagna.
You bitch.
So I don't. So you work with this Strahd person?
I don't work with Strahd. I've talked to him like twice since I've been here.
What
What?
do you owe them?
I don't owe them anything
So why do you talk to them?
because he likes to meet people who come into Barovia.
Isn't he a forward person? I thought he was the forward partner. Am I confused again?
Olav will knock on the door. Sorry to bother you, I cannot get transport until tomorrow. Is it okay if I remain for the evening?
yeah, just stay away from the imp.
Have I interrupted something? It feels a bit tense in here.
Graham goes under the covers.
Just slide the note into the centre of the table.
Where was it going?
Apparently this was on its way to Castle Ravenloft. While we were trying to defend the citizens of the town.
So he's a servant of Strahd all this time. A spy.
No, it's more that the man has a bit of a fancy, I'd say, and he's
That
been
sounds
trying
like something a spy would say.
for fuck's sake. He's
Can you just remind me what the letter said? Something. Call this off and something. What did you offer?
I'll go. It was something like I'll leave if you stop attacking Valaki.
You'll leave.
Yeah.
Okay, back into character. Darzan, you can leave this place.
No. He wanted me to live in Ravenloft.
Why?
Because I'm a music maker, and he took a bit of a fancy to me.
So you're one of his concubines.
He wants me to
Like the woman who nearly pushed me off of the roof.
Technically,
Woman who...
technically, he can't be a concubine because he can't produce babies.
Well, I'm not sure
Not sure
Semantic.
vampires can either.
Yeah.
I think he's more of a
Sex slave?
yeah.
Is it sex slave if they're willing?
I think
think
we're
it's
getting
just
hung up on
yeah.
Sex worker.
This is very off track, even for me.
getting hung up on the words. Really, that's not what the issue is here. What title we give him.
I think the issue is how many other of these notes has he sent whilst he has been with you? And what did they say?
What's his opinion of us and his opinion of you being with us?
He doesn't seem to particularly care about me hanging around with you. But he also doesn't particularly seem to care about you either.
It's good news.
I find it quite remarkable that you thought this note might have an effect. It might change his mind, or he might consider the contents. Do you have that much influence with him?
Probably not, no. It was kind of a hopeful wild card.
But he knows you and he likes you. And everything we know so far would seem to indicate that this man he holds the keys for leaving this place. And if he doesn't care about us, whether we stay or whether we leave, perhaps you could ask him.
He never lets anybody leave. The promise
So
of
how do you explain you then?
he wasn't going to let me leave Barovia. I wanted to leave, and that's one of the reasons why I entertained conversations with him for so long. But not long after we had those conversations, they started to turn to, wouldn't you rather stay here and live in a Ravenloft with me?
I think you said you'd not spoken with him more than a couple times.
Yeah, I've spoken to him twice.
And yet these conversations have had time to evolve and change their purpose.
He's a very quickly acting shit, shall we say.
You've told us how he feels about you, but how do you feel about him?
Well, he's a manipulative shit, isn't he?
And yet when you were angry at the concubine, and Mick, for your knowledge, a concubine does not have to produce babies, but you there was a tone of jealousy.
Well, I'm not really jealous of anybody, I wouldn't say.
Inside check.
I'm also rolling inside.
Oh,
Woo!
I need to look up the proper definition of jealous. Maybe that I can give a proper answer to this.
I think when you say, "Are you jealous?" You're not jealous of anyone.
No, he generally wasn't really that fussed that Ludmilla could throw around that she was Strahd's wife, or one of his brides. he was mostly just being a sassy little shit.
What about?
He was being a sassy shit over the fact that, well, it's one of those things where it's like,
Why? But why would he be a sassy shit if he wasn't jealous?
because he is a sassy shit.
I think he's a bit jealous.
I agree.
Larson doesn't think he's jealous.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Darzen doesn't know himself.
He's in denial.
Doesn't in denial about a lot, so yeah, probably.
There are two ways to look at this situation. Darzen has betrayed you and been dishonest, hidden his interactions, or he is genuinely embroiled in something beyond his control. And you could use that. We could use that. If Strahd really does have a soft spot for this elf, then why not take advantage? He would do the same to us.
But for that, we would have to trust him.
Well,
Darzen,
that's the hard
can you-
part.
Darzen, can you tell us more about your actual interactions with him?
Well, he dragged me to Castle Ravenloft when I first entered the area. That's where I first met him. I fucked the man once or twice.
Proper
Which is...
fucked.
Hmm?
Proper fucked.
Yes.
Right.
Which is probably where the fancy comes from. And then beyond that, there hasn't really been a great deal of interaction.
But tell us about the actual interactions. What was his manner towards you? We know nothing of this man. What does he even look like?
Ooh. Let me double check something. I think I've used all of my spells. Oh, I have some third level. Oh, do I get to use third level spells before we have the sleep to level?
Oh yeah.
Oh, in that case, I will use Major Image, and I will create the illusion of Strahd in the room.
I must have an image of him somewhere.
Naked.
No. Although I could.
Very sexy.
Good.
He's always been well-mannered and polite every time I talk to him. But there's always... He's always trying something, like... whenever I talk about wanting to leave Barovia, and he changes the subject to wouldn't you rather stay here and live in a Ravenloft and, you know, live comfortably, but you know, that's not an appealing concept. And
Is
also,
anything about this place comfortable?
no, not really. No, that's a fair point. But also, a genuine thanks there, Milton, because by killing Crowford, you prevented me from having to spend probably thousands of years living in Ravenloft.
Oh, how so?
Well, that's what I was offering. I'm being elven I would live for a long time. And if I
Is
went
he
to...
a man of his word? You said he was manipulative. Would he honour a deal if he agreed to the deal, hypothetically, that was on that note? Would he honour that? Would he call off his attacks on towns?
Don't know. I like to think he would, but it wouldn't last if I were to make an assumption. He'd probably call it off for like a week or so.
And you were prepared to give thousands of your years in exchange for a week of peace?
I don't want to be party to a bloodbath.
You mean you want to delay it for a week?
No, I don't want anybody to get slaughtered by vampires.
But they will, but just in a week's time.
Well, they'll have time to, if it had already started, they'll have time to, I don't know, move or leave or prepare for something.
This is not the first bloodbath, and I'm sure it will not be the last.
It's the first one I've ever had to see.
I've seen too many, I'm afraid to say.
So you said that he spoke to you when you first arrived in the area. When else have you spoken to him?
It was a few days ago.
A few days?
Oh yeah, it's before I met you, I
Was he
think.
with us?
No.
That night you wandered off. I caught you going downstairs. Where were
Yeah.
you going?
I went to fuck Vasily.
Oh, so you fucking Strahd and Vasily?
Oh, I fucked a lot of people.
That's how you get the pox, my friend.
So if when you left in the night to see Vasily, but still, when in the last few days have you seen Strahd?
It was probably a handful of days before you came to Vallaki.
So
So
he
you've
sent
been-
you here. He sent you to them.
Well, his carriage dropped me here.
Let's see how this does not look good.
Oh yeah, I'm fully aware.
I don't understand why, if you are getting yourself into a situation with Strahd, you are then hanging around with us, and then you just randomly go and fuck Vasily? How does that even come about?
Because I'm a whore, Alessander.
So you got paid for this?
No.
Then you are not a whore. Not how it works. But
Not an official one. Definitely.
That's. I think that's semantics.
He clearly does not know how it works.
had you talked to Vasily separately? Or had you only talked to him when you were with us? Because that is a rather strange encounter to be had out of the blue. Is there more going on between you and the noble folk around here than you were also letting on to?
Well, I'm a vaguely Vistana man who can walk around in the towns. I think I've probably got some sway somewhere. I don't know where.
But you have, of the two people we know you have slept with, they are powerful men, both of which interested in Irina, within a very short amount of time.
I've slept with a lot of common men, if that balances the things out.
And how many of those have been within the last few days?
Maybe one.
And who was this common man?
It's just some random person who was walking around in Valaki.
Insight check. 18.
I'm just putting out that there was some unnamed person who Tarzan has also bonked because he likes bonking.
He's got
bored one
needs.
night.
Yeah.
Tarzan's got
I
needs.
sent you a message just of stuff that you would know, just in case it helps. It's your choice whether you use it.
Okay, thank you very much.
This just seems very odd. None of it quite adds up.
When Alessander asked when the last time you spoke to Strahd was, you said it was a few days ago when you fucked Vasily. So, does he like to watch? I don't understand.
When did the proposition happen? I don't understand you. You crept out at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
I
I
just set it up.
crept
Is
out.
there like a secret language? Or like some kind of signal that we're not seeing? I'm not asking for me or a friend, I just hasten to add. I'm just curious.
No, I pretty much just went and knocked on the door.
At like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And he was awake.
And willing to fuck you.
Yeah, apparently.
The booty call, man.
This is so personal.
Well, you can see how weird it is.
Strange.
It's getting a bit slut shaming.
Oh no, he can fuck
How many
me.
have you fucked? How many of them were commoners?
I just want it to make sense.
I'm just amazed he could just knock on the door and they're like, okay then,
Oh, he has those.
without any pre-planning.
He had all those flowers outside of his house. That's the
Yes.
universal sign of, come on in.
He's just that suave.
So
Vampire grinder.
at what point does Strahd come into this? 3 in the morning, you knock on the door, and I still don't
No,
know where
that-
Strahd is.
Poor choice of words, Steve.
No, but Strahd was days before we arrived,
Yes,
or before you met us.
before I met you.
Why did you mention
And
Vasily?
Because
Yeah,
Olaf asked where I was going at 3 in the morning one day.
No. Alessander
Oh.
said, when was the last time you saw Strahd? And you said, when I went to fuck Vasily.
Oh, I entirely misunderstood that statement.
No, I thought you said a few days before he met us.
I think we're talking in circles and getting confused a little bit.
Why should we trust you?
Well, realistically, you shouldn't trust anyone from Barovia.
Then I personally am not sure why you were with us.
Because you were nice to me. Barovia is a harsh place. A lot of people in here aren't kind to anybody. And when you're an outsider, Barovians don't want to talk to you, and when you're a Vistani, they don't want to talk to you either. But when you're not even human, a lot of the Vistani don't even want to talk to you, so it's kind of
So if you're
isolating.
not even human and you wear Vistani clothing, you've got no chance.
Yeah. Nobody treats you kindly here. It was refreshing to be invited to sit at the table and have a conversation with you.
Well,
So I
to be
ask
fair, you
again,
did
how
kind
was
of just
it-
sit down.
No, I'm pretty sure you called me over to talk about.
Alright,
Something.
okay.
But still,
Can't
why
remember if I was there or not.
would have been absent?
If I can interject, as someone that's been sort of had to work with people who were uncomfortable with, And the more important question is where does your allegiance lie? What do you actually want? What is your end game? You're with us, you're with Strahd, so what is that you want? Because if you are with us, if you want to get out of here as much as we do, then we have a connection to Strahd that we can use, but we don't know if we can trust him.
Well, I just want to go home. I don't really know where that is anymore. But I just don't want to be here.
You said earlier that Strahd would not let us leave. Are you certain that he has control of the mists?
I have no idea. I don't know how any of this shit works.
Kind of be useful to know.
I'm just thinking that he has an invitation to meet Strahd in the castle, so if our plan was to escape by possibly killing Strahd and ending this whole fog thing, which we think that's because of Strahd, then now we have a way of getting to him, and in a way that he would trust us, or at least trust him. And I guess the step we're missing is what we do when we're there.
It's a good point. I do worry that works both ways, and okay, maybe if it's true what they say and he knows everyone who comes and goes, he's aware of who we are and where we're going, but if he's as interested in Darzin as he seems to be, then we could invite unwanted attention.
Yeah, that is a good point. But if we go after him, we'll do that anyway.
The question I think for Darzin is, can he find out if Strahd has weaknesses that we can take advantage of? I've seen many people try to kill him and we failed. Failed badly. A mage more powerful than any of us, then all of us combined failed, so we need a weakness. We need a vulnerability. Something he cares about we can use against him. Anything. Darzin may be the only chance we have of finding that. So I don't think it will be easy. I do not think he will give up these secrets without careful consideration. But he is the only road in we have. Unless any others of you are secretly sleeping with him as well. Do you want to come out and say it now? Inside check.
I'm so tired. I can't concentrate. There's too much information. And I don't know what to believe and who to trust.
Well, let's all have a sleep and you can figure it out for the morning.
I am tired.
Perhaps we should all sleep on it and maybe try to think of what our next move is and whether bells and cannons should be included in.
You can all sleep. I will kind of rest. I don't really sleep anymore, so
Oh, me neither for the most part.
just
What's happened
I'll
to you?
just sit. I kind of died and came back, and I'm not fully alive anymore, so I do not sleep. I do not eat. I do not drink. When I rest, I'm still aware. It is a curse, but it means that you can all get some rest. And when the first of you awakes, I shall leave.
Cool. Similar to me, but just lightness and then
I did not know you were like this.
what?
I did not know you were like that.
Oh, I'm always nervous.
How do you want to sleep? Are you just leaving Olav on watch?
Yeah.
I'll just take the corner chair facing the door. He will sit down, and after a few minutes, he will look like a dead body, really, just staring.
So, sorry, remind me. So you don't need to rest. 4 hours in a motionless state, so anything that went on would be in your passive perception.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Basically, he's still aware.
That 4 hours, are you taking it at the top, middle, end?
Well, the end.
Okay.
I'll just sit awake for the first 4 hours. Probably make some notes. Write down some of the conversations tonight. Some of the things that went on in the town before he forgets.
Cool. Before we go into the nighttime, is anyone, Darzin, doing anything?
Yes, I am.
At what point, say if we broke it into 8 hours, at what point in that?
Given Darzin's usual stance and the way he acted last time, it would probably be trancing for the first 4 hours and then getting up to no good in the last 4.
Cool, so you swap with trancing and... No, you don't swap, you pretty much do the same as...
I do the reverse, because he'll be sleeping while...
Reverse.
My brain hurts. Cool. Cool. So... Sorry, anyone else, just in case? No, okay. So you all settle down to sleep, mostly. And it's pretty similar to other evenings. As you're just above the bar, there's always this sort of background noise that makes it difficult initially to drift off, although you are exhausted. Tonight that background noise is there, but it's got a slightly different tone. There's little conversation, although you hear the odd sort of scrape of a chair. A sniffle. And just because of what's happened, every time there's this tangible silence is broken, you just sort of like, Just in case. Shit, are they back? No. Okay. And the same goes for outside. There's more movement outside than you're used to. Occasionally it's the last dregs of the people at the tavern as they make their way home, but out in the street you hear the occasional just wail as I guess someone finds their loved one. in the middle of the square, amongst the dead. Voices, grunts as someone with some sort of injury moves past underneath the window. Do you want to roll perception for the first bit where you're not trampsing?
That for... Oh, there you go.
Nice. About... So this is the first few hours. In the first sort of hour of your watch, that background noise will get a little bit louder. Coming from the town square. You just initially look outside the window.
Yeah, I'll look out. I'm guessing it's probably the...
Here it overlooks the town square. There's just there's pockets of people situated around the square. There's like a couple of lit campfires. People resting literally there on the cobblestones. Some people drinking. The noise is coming from a group of people that seem to be carrying something up to the platform where the burgomaster and his wife are being held in the stocks. A 19, that's good. It's a body.
Can't see who it is.
It's like 100 feet away, faces out there. It'd be difficult, but you can tell it's definitely a body and they're quite limp. There's no fighting. If you keep watching, they will just put this limp form in the stocks next to the burgomaster. There's a bit of like laughter and they seem maybe a bit drunk, raucous. And then they step down and admire their handiwork and sit down.
Do anything about that? It's either someone that's dead and it's not going to matter, or it's someone that's conscious. Probably deserves it.
Cool. Can you do me a perception check for your second set of, so the 3 to 4 hour mark? In that time, again, similarly, you hear some noise from outside. If you look out the window, what would you see? Pretty much the same affair. There's a couple of people stood facing the platform, shouting at the burgomaster. Well, assumably, that's where they're facing and they're shouting.
I'll open the window and listen to what they're shouting.
Should have thought about things like this. Things along the lines of, "This is what you deserve. How dare you? This has been a long time coming." And you would also see this movement that looks like they're throwing stuff at him. Occasionally, from the little pockets of people around the square, you'll hear like a shout of affirmation.
Not going to do anything.
And then anything else that happens after that is in your passive.
Just the same.
Let me just check what's going on overnight. I'm going to roll one thing for later, or else I will forget. Oh, it's not the imp. What? Doesn't. The first 4 hours have passed. Your trance is complete. Jim. Jim.
Is he role-playing being gone?
Potentially. This is him. Left. He's gone.
There he was, gone.
Hey, buddy. Love's had his 4 hours of watch, and now he's not trancing whatever undead people do. And you
Right.
would be waking up.
Right there. So the first thing Darzan's going to be doing is going to write himself a tiny little note, which he's going to stash somewhere. And then he's going to write a second other little note that is vaguely threatening. Talking about how, they're disappointed and they put a lot of things in jeopardy. And if they fuck up again, they won't get another warning. And he isn't going to sign it. And he's going to seal it with normal candle wax, so it looks very nondescript. And then he will stand up in his little room. He won't take any of his stuff. So he will be going unarmed and unarmored. He's going to open his little window. And he will misty step out into the street so that he doesn't have to go through the blue water inn and disturb anybody.
For my
And then-
clarification, have you left that letter in your room, or are they both about your person now?
One is stashed and one the one of the little notes is stashed in the room somewhere, and then the vaguely threatening note is on him.
Gotcha. Continue, sorry.
And he'll misty step out of the room, and he will walk through the streets of Vallaki for a little while, not being too careful to not be noticed, but as he walks intentionally past Wakta House, he will get a little more on the sly side, and he'll try and get up to the door, and he'll slide the threatening note under Lady Wakta's door, because fuck up being a Wakta. And then he's going to shift around, and he will go briefly to Vasilis.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, you can successfully slide that note under. The lights are on inside, but I'm not going to make you roll a stealth. It's sliding a note under a door. I know it looks like that butler guy is constantly standing at the front door, but I've moved him. So, yeah, you can do that fine. Vasily, where is Vasily?
Ooh, I get to see Vasili's house. Oh, it's this scene again.
It's this scene again.
Makes more sense.
Where's the party? Where's Crowford for the sake of...
Crowford's down here.
Never mind. Cool.
Let's just Crowford.
Yeah, you can walk up to the house and what? If you try to let yourself in, it's fucking locked.
Of course.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, he'll bang on the door gently.
Yeah, you'll bang on the door gently. Okay.
Yeah.
So, a moment will pass, and then Vasily will answer the door himself. I wondered whether I might see you tonight, and he'll step aside.
Yeah, Darzin will walk through the door, going, yes, it's been a bit of an awkward time. Then he'll
Awkward.
walk in and plop down. And after a brief little moment, Darzin will just go, were you aware at all about the vampires attacking Vallaki?
He will be sort of to the side pouring some wine, and he'll turn to you and gesture another glass. It's a silent, do you want one?
Sure.
Sure. And he will bring them over to you and sit down, leaving your question hanging whilst he does all this. I was aware. I wasn't too interested in the intricacies of it, but I knew Ludmilla was up to something.
Are you going to do anything about the fact that, I don't know, half of Valaki's been burnt down by her and some vampires?
You are quite dramatic, although this is your way, I suppose. Half of Valaki is not burnt down. There are 7 houses, 6 storage units, and 3 businesses, I believe. Ella is her own agent. What would you like me to hold her accountable for?
Well, as much as I'd like to, I can't say being a bitch.
He does chuckle at that. I'm gonna have to stop you there, because there's a man at my door with some donuts, so I will be back.
If that's not a
Do
good
the same.
excuse to pause the game, I don't know what is.
Well, I would do the same.
Yeah, you've always got to
I'd be
take
gone.
a short break for donuts.
There's always time for donuts. You make time.
The question is, why is there not donuts at all of our doors?
Yeah, it's the only slightly concerning thing. I'd love the cake.
So how many people suspected that Darzin would take a trip to see Vasily?
He's quite
I thought-
predictable, to be fair.
I don't know how you've got out past Olaf. I thought Olaf was keeping watch.
He's in another room.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Darzin has his own room and he misty stepped out the window, so he wouldn't have to
Okay.
open the door.
It'd be interesting to see him get back in.
I've thought ahead on that. Don't worry.
What's going on?
Sorry. I forgot what my other questions were.
I asked, what would you like me to hold her accountable for, and you said for being a bitch.
Yeah, well, that is true. Are you going to, I don't know, help Valaki at all? I mean, there's a lot of dead people now because of her. And Lady Wachter does not seem particularly reasonable.
Neither did previous Baron.
No, that's true, I suppose.
Why do you take an interest in their little lives, Nazin? This is a tragedy for them, yes, but in a couple of decades, you will barely remember this.
I think I'm going to remember this for quite a while, unfortunately.
I think you have spent a lot of time on your own out there. Things like this. There are lots of dangers in Barovia. You cannot monitor them all.
No, but you didn't have to send vampires to attack and kill a lot of people in the town just because.
But does? I didn't. Ludmilla did.
Insight check. My insight is shit. I got a natural 20.
Guess what, mate? He didn't.
Oh. Jimmy's faintly
You sound disappointed.
Jimmy's disappointed, but Dawson's like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Time to get a natural 20.
Yeah. Well, he was being honest, so it wasn't really. And as he takes a big sip of his wine, he will mention, just off the cuff go, so, Irina's now aware that, we've fucked, basically. Just because you seem to have such an interest in her, I thought I'd let you know beforehand.
Hudson, you're going to give me a reputation around town. I've been an upstanding member of Vallaki for a long time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. A bit of a awkward reputation never really hurts, and you now have an awkward reason not to go into the church now that it's consecrated.
Yes, that was unfortunate. I assume you didn't try very hard to stop your little group from...
Oh,
doing
no,
that.
I was actively helping to consecrate the church.
Why?
Well, because I didn't want to see a lot of people murdered. I mean, you might not give a shit, but I do.
I suppose you can do what you like, as Ludmilla can. What do you think they will do next? They seem...
Realizing that Dawson can't think of any more particularly urgent questions, he's probably just going to put his now empty glass of wine on a nearby table and just go, you can probably figure it out. And then he's just going to leave.
But that is your job, Dawson. Remember?
Well, were you ever actually going to let me leave, Barovia?
I would have been very sorry to see you go.
That doesn't sound like a yes or a no.
Do not underestimate the power I have in this land, Dawson. I could have let you go. But
I'm
why
not-
would I if I not want you to?
I wasn't asking if you could let me go. I was asking if you would. Long silences usually mean no.
The answer might have been different 5 minutes ago.
Insight check. The 14.
It's difficult because it's not. It's a success, but not a full success. The impression you're getting from your conversations with Strahd is that he doesn't generally lie. He might talk his way around the truth. Generally, he doesn't tell open lies.
Right, well, I have other shit to do. And Dawson's just going to continue heading out through the door.
I'll let you go. He'll just sort of call out after you. Good luck with your friends. I will see you soon.
And once he's outside, he's just going to meander around the town, look for anybody who he might recognize who's dead. And then once the sun starts to come up, as much of a sun there is as in Ravenloft, he's going to head back to the Blue Water Inn, and he's just going to sit at the bar and start drinking excessively.
By now it's the early hours of the morning, and a lot of the activity that was going on earlier has sort of subsided. If you walked through the town square, you would realise that it looks like all of the dead bodies have been brought into the town square and identified as a list has gone up of the dead on the notice board there.
Ooh, is there any names we recognise on the list?
You would recognise Karl Vokta, Isaac Strasny, and
Okay.
Henrik van der Voort, who was the coffin maker.
Oh no! Dawson will actually be quite sad to see that Henrik's died.
Are you walking before you were sort of? I didn't describe the town square, but would you have a proper look?
Yeah, he'll
Would you just
walk
walk
around.
straight through the middle? Then you would see, added to the people on the stocks, there's. Oh no, where's my document gone? Father Lucian is sort of sat propped up against the stock which holds Lydia Petrovna, the Baroness. Can't be 100% sure without going up to them, but there are some stones littered around the body of the Baron Vargas in the centre. Last time you'd see him, he'd have like these heavy cloaks on, pimp coats, you know, but now in the stocks, he's quite a gangly figure in this suit. He looks like he soiled himself at some point in the night. There's lots of sort of marks to his head and on his shirt, bloodstains, and he's hanging there very limply. And then next to him on the other side is Isaac Strahd, again hanging there limply. Previously, when you saw him, he was also wearing a heavy cloak. Now that you are looking at him in the light of day, you can see he is, as expected, a large, muscular man, but his arm, which I can't find the description, whether it's left or right, not that it really matters, one of his arms is essentially deformed. It's weirdly large. It doesn't match the other arm. The skin is bright red and barbed.
I retroactively do something I've just remembered I wanted to do while I was at Vasily Van Hortz's house.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to cast Detect Thoughts.
Oh, you put the spell in the thingy so I can...
Give me just a second. Oh, well, that doesn't fucking help, does it? Oh, no, there we go. So he will be able to read Vasily's surface thoughts.
Wisdom.
He doesn't have to roll just to see the surface thoughts.
Oh, just to see surface thoughts.
Is Vasily at the square?
Disappointment.
No, this was... Okay. This is retroactively before I would have left. It's something I just remembered I wanted to do. And that's the extent of it, is it, for the surface thoughts?
If you could hear a surface thought, it's this.
Okay. So, as well as Darcin is walking out of the door, you will take a moment to turn around and look at Vasily, and then I would like the wisdom save. As he goes rooting around to see if there's something more in there.
Just got rid of his character sheet, there is. Okay,
Sorry.
Wisdom save.
Fuck me, that's a high wisdom score. It's a fail though. So please impart upon me everything that Strahd thinks about.
No.
No?
Legendary resistance.
Fuck. Shit.
Now he knows he did it as well.
Yeah, but he knows I tried now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I didn't think about legendary resistances. So
I'm
that
level
would
5. I'm gonna go up against the big bad.
On my own.
There will be a moment of, well, shit. And as the door closes behind him, and then, yeah, he's just going to go back to Blue Water and drink wine.
Next morning. Next morning, I'm going to switch quickly to Absence, who I assume has been sleeping on the road and is making his way into Vallaki. Oh crap. I need to go again, because when I answered the door to get the Deliveroo, I left my key in the door, and now Martin's outside. going, I can't get into the house, so I'm
You
really
just locked him
sorry.
out because you have the donuts now.
I do, it's true.
This is the sort of thing that makes it authentic. You know we're real people.
It is just, there's no voice acting here.
Yeah.
Well, no good professionally trained voice acting.
Yeah, no, yeah.
There's
My
bad voice
green
acting.
scheme is slightly dodgy. In fact, my hair kind of blends into it. It's quite good. I even have green on my shirt. No. I'll wear a green shirt next time, so I'm just a floating head.
I want to take Absence back to the night just before he wakes up and starts making his way to Vallaki. You're going to have a nightmare.
Hey.
So you settle down, I guess, somewhere in the forest with some cover. Or dreams. You are with the party walking through the streets of Vallaki. You've got your hood up, as you would usually have, hiding your horns, trying not to get attention. When a young person runs up and pulls down the hood of your cloak and shouts, "It's him! It is the devil!" And more people will start to appear in the streets and surround you and begin to jeer and point and throw stones, shouting like, "Kill the beast and back to the nine hells with you, devil." You see a couple of people start turning up with pitchforks, and the party with you in the centre tried to shield you as you all rush down the street. As you're running, a rock hits you in the back of the head. Your head throbs and you feel someone latch onto one of your horns. And you instinctively lash out to protect yourself. And you realise Alessander is howling next to you. He's clutching his face, and his hair and his shirt are on fire. And he's drops to the ground, rolling, trying to put the fire out. You've cast Hellish Rebuke, and you didn't. It was just instinctive. You didn't know who it was, but there he is on the floor, and it's your fault. And everyone is still moving. You're leaving Alessandro behind, and you see him get trampled by the crowd.
Trying to get to him. I'm desperately trying to get to him. Fight my way back. But I guess it's a dream. I can't.
Pretty much. When you wake up, could you roll me a d10, please?
Oh, that's never ominous. Ominous. Just a random d10.
Crowford.
No, it's not a roll. It's Crowford. That's the only thing that's in the screen that I can see.
It's been a long time since we've had Absence, so it doesn't affect him so much in terms of, key points, regeneration or whatever, but you still feel tired. That was a restless night's sleep, and it hasn't had the effect you wanted it to. Your maximum hit points are also reduced by 2.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to do to you.
Absence will wake up under the tree, probably with his hood, just leaning against the tree with his hood up. And yeah, he will look around. He'll probably look up as the daylight hits his face. You'll just see his red skin, just the hints of the horns under the helmet, and he'll just have 2 tears running down his face. And he'll just take a deep breath, close his eyes for a second, get up and start to walk. Just wipe his face and then put a stern face on.
Lovely. Sure, I'm torn between you but thinking of going to the orphanage, but I was going to have everyone wake up at the Blue Water Inn. You want me to, if you're all getting up, do you want me to take you to the ground floor? Or are you having more secret conversations upstairs?
Well, Dawson's getting drunk at the bar.
Yeah, once Olaf will walk past Darzin in the bar, just nod, nothing more. Walk past him and out the door.
And we may or may not see Olaf again. Hopefully we will.
Yes, when he's got more interesting skills to use.
Right, Darzin at the bar. Let's put you all at the bottom of the stairs.
You think Alexander, before they go downstairs, will ask Milton what he thinks of the whole Darzin situation.
Oh, I don't know what to think. He's up early again today. He's not here. Do you know what time we got up? What time is it now? Ish.
Dawn.
Dawn. So he was up before dawn again.
Just a reminder, Darzin has a separate room to the lot of you.
Oh, okay, he wasn't with us.
Let's go back.
But if Alexander has had his nightmare and woken up in the night, he would probably go and check. But we've been taking watches, haven't we?
Roll me a d8, and then we'll determine when you woke up in the night and whether he was or was not there.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was the last hour, so I would probably say, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but by that point you'd be back in the bar drinking.
Probably, yeah.
He's not in his room, but if you peered over the banister, you'd see him downstairs.
Well, he was up before us, and I don't know. I don't trust him.
I want to, but he makes it difficult to trust him, doesn't he?
Just doesn't make sense.
Lots of things don't add up, but he'll tell us what he wants us to know, I suppose. But I know I will be more guarded, I think, with what I see in front of him.
Is it safe for us to even be around him?
I don't know. I don't think so, because he clearly has a relationship of some description with this Strahd character. And if this Strahd is interested in him, who's to say when or if he might come knocking to see where he is or demand something, and we get caught in the crossfire. So
And again,
maybe not intentionally, but no, it's not safe to be with him.
But then again, it could also offer us some level of protection. if he is favoured by Strahd, well,
Yes.
we might get certain allowances just by being nearby.
Well, that all depends on Darzin. If he
What do you
tells
think, Min?
his...
I mean, the big question here is what is our end game? Whether you can play into that.
At the moment, my only game is to survive, it would seem.
Well, he's kind of a risky choice to be around, isn't he? I know, having been a slave for, well, he says he's not a slave, but I guess we're not sure if he's not being manipulated or completely mind controlled. We don't know if Strahd has some sort of hold over him that Matter have told us about. I know that hags do on me. That's why I had to run away. These creatures have ways of controlling you, so I don't think we can ever trust them. But what we can do is do our best to, well, I don't want to say use him, but use his connection to Strahd, possibly get out of here or survive.
I agree with Nick. I don't like it. It's more risky than anything else we've tried, but it's the best lead we've got. It's the only lead we've got on finding or hopefully finding a way out of this place. That's the link. It's dangerous, for sure, but it's all we've got.
What should we do regarding Irina? I'm not sure she's safe here, but maybe if we leave, she would be safer. Should we take her with us, and do we want her to be around him?
Makes more sense that way, doesn't it? Because we can monitor him and him. If we leave it behind, anything can happen.
If we left her behind, I would be very worried for her safety. I'm sure we would all blame ourselves if she were to come to harm.
We think the church is safe now. That's one place.
I'm not sure if it will always be safe, though.
No, but my thinking is Irina is also a person of interest to Strahd. And we just make it very easy for him. If the two people he's interested in are together, if they're separate and we leave her behind, then his attention's split.
But I don't believe he would be interested in Darzin the way that he's interested in Irina.
How so?
From what Darzin has said, Darzin is of interest because of the ease and the novelty of it.
You bitch.
Hey, I'm just going with what Darzin said.
No, you're completely right.
Oh yeah.
Whilst slut-shaming him a bit.
Do you think maybe Darzin's just a little stopgap or a time filler?
A passing distraction.
Aye.
It's just Nick in the background.
He just kidding, because it was worse before, because it was in the midst of all this when Steve just said, when does Strahd come into this? I'm just like, I'm a child. I'm not mature enough for the storyline. I'm very sorry, Jim.
You did so well to hold it in.
It concerns me to leave her here without perfect protection, but I don't think that this is somewhere that we are really going to be staying much longer. Is this?
Well, like we did last time, we have all these great ideas, but then ultimately we ask Irina what she would like to do.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. He's very much her own person.
Whether we need to talk further with Darzin and see if and what he can offer us, and whether he's even prepared to help us with that. Maybe that's another conversation for today. I don't know.
I think it's also important to remember that we can't trust Darwin as much as we can't trust anyone. I've run away from the fight while you were all in danger. Littl's tried to kill me once, or well, locked me in the room. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not like we trust each other, so that was just another person we don't really trust, but kind of trust not to keep around.
I see your point. Well, no matter what, I think the first port of call is breakfast for any day.
Yes.
I keep writing. Keep writing Matt instead of Jen.
Tell
That's
us,
why I
Matt. Tell us the DM
That's why
whispers.
I keep having a puzzled face like that. Doesn't make any sense. I'm not even there.
Sorry, Jen.
I rolled it anyway. I'm very trusting.
There's too many platforms I can speak to you guys through. Yeah, where do you want to put Absence, Matt? Do you want him to head there after the orphanage, or do you just want... What's he doing?
Yeah, he would go to the orphanage to deliver the money, and then obviously find that it's burnt down. I think initially he would try and search inside to see if anyone's still alive. Upon finding that there's no one in there, would probably head to the inn.
Place yourselves wherever you want to be. As you head downstairs into the inn, there's probably a fire, and there's a handful of people sort of curled up in the corners or in front of the fire, in chairs or just laid out on the floor, that have taken respite here for the night. As you head in, you will see a couple of familiar faces behind the bar, and it is not Erwin or Danica or their children, it's Dagmara and Theodore, who you know are cousins of Erwin and Danica, and escorted you from the windmill to Vallaki, as a reminder.
Morning, Darzin. Early riser.
Dyson will be slumped over the bar. And as you talk to him, he'll kind of just like roll his head that way. And you're like, hey, Milton.
This is all making sense to Matt now.
Yes.
I'm guessing that was the Constitution save that you rolled a 6 on.
Yep.
Okay, you're starting a little early, I see. I will leave you to it.
Like rolls his head back to stare point blank at the countertop.
Are you okay?
I don't think I've been okay for a long time.
Well, I think we were hoping to maybe talk with you more today, but you don't seem in the best of states.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
How about some coffee or some breakfast?
He'll kind of like unsteadily kind of like sit up a bit and kind of like nod his head and like breakfast doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Can Milton tell? Is he drunk or just really tired because he hasn't slept?
Oh, he's drunk. He smells of alcohol. He has a bottle of wine in front of him.
Okay.
Probably more than one.
Dagmara will sort of nod at her.
Just changed.
Other. Yeah, I realised it was Danica, not Dagmara, so that's confusing for everyone. Who will disappear into the back. Theodore's getting you some breakfast. Owen made like a vat of porridge. How are you guys doing?
Compared to a lot of other people in the town, I think we're on the good end of the scale, but it's all relative, I understand that. You okay?
Suppose you could say we're quite high on the dandy scale.
Yes.
Yes, in comparison to everyone else, dandy, as you say. We weren't here last night. We just got back this morning. Erwin and Danica told us everything. They said what you did, Milton. Thank you.
Only what anybody else would do if they could. So you've been out of town. What news?
Well, we went to see our father at the winery when Erwin said they weren't getting the deliveries. We went to check on them and well, it's not a good situation there either. Theodore will come back with some bowls of porridge for you.
Oh, thank you. The winery, is that far from here?
Just over a day's walk.
But no attacks, just stop of deliveries, is it?
Well, it seems they've been overrun with needle blights. These irritating little twig creatures, but it's like an army. They've been forced out of their home and are seeking shelter in the woods. We came back here hoping we could entreat yourselves or the hunters to come help. Well, we see also need help.
Is that a normal thing? Is an infestation like that, of that scale, that could force somebody out of their home, unusual, or?
Well, the needle blights are about in the woods, particularly near the winery. That is where there is a group of druids, servants of Strahd. Conjured by them. We have had our troubles with them before. we've defended ourselves, but this is a new level of terrorizing my family. We have not been forced out before.
Well, there was an end in sight, at least, to the attack on this town, but the winery remains infested. Is that correct?
Yes. I know it seems silly compared to what has happened here, but wine is really the lifeblood of Barovia. It is something which keeps the people here sane. And of course, my family's business.
Well, if it's something we can help with, I'm sure I would like to, but I will speak with everybody else. I know everybody's a little weary from recent activities, and we may have other more pressing matters. But
No, of
if we
course.
can help, we will do our best to see if we can pay a visit.
Thank you. We need to stay here a few more hours anyway. Owen and Danica, they stayed up all night. You see these people feeding, watering,
Of course.
just resting, so we said we would watch the bar.
I'll start ferrying the bowls across to the table, 2 at a time.
I'll start getting you coffee as well.
Actual absence will. He stood at the bottom of the steps and he will open the door with thaumaturgy, slowly, quietly. Well, not quietly. There's no control over that, but he will open the door.
Surprise, bitches.
He will have his hood up, be trying to hide his face as best he can, and will just cautiously peer into the inn from the bottom of the stairs. Just obviously, I guess he will see Mick and Alessander, and he will cautiously, very cautiously, rather apprehensively start walking in. And the door will close behind him.
Does the door make enough noise that we might glance towards it?
Oh yeah, it's a creaky old thing. And he's letting a breeze.
Then Alexander will definitely look. If you've got your cloak hood up, is Alexander going to be able to see that it's absence, or is it just going to be a cloaked figure?
I mean, you would see his hands are red. You probably would see the horns underneath the hood, like causing bulges. But and maybe when he peeks under his hood, you might just see the flash of red glowing eyes.
Oh, but Alexander is up, and he is running, and he's not the strongest of people, but he's going to kind of hit you with enough force that as he kind of puts his arms around you, he manages to just pick Absence up off the ground a bit and kind of half swing him round in probably the most joyful that Alessandra's been in quite some time. Just a little swinging hug.
Oh, you will feel him. You will feel Absence tense up a little bit as you do that. You sort of feel this. It's like a flinch. It's good to see you, Alessander, but it's not safe to touch me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've been very worried about you. Where have you been? Are you okay?
I went to put some things right. Unfortunately, it seems. What happened to the orphanage? Where are the children?
A lot has happened. The children are fine. The children are safe. They're in the church. Don't worry, we sorted that. Come on, come sit down. Have some food.
I put things right for those children.
And you can tell us about that. Come on.
Theodore will bring over another bowl of porridge when he sees Absence sit down, and opposite you, Absence, you will see, because he's so tiny, probably just the top of a head and the top of some wings, sat in a chair next to Alessandro.
I do think Graham might have used shape change and is probably now a raven, and Alessandra is just letting this raven pick out of his bowl.
Either image is enjoyable.
My Absence likes ravens.
Dalton's going to put a couple of, say, 2 platinum on the bar for the wine that he's drunk so far, and he'll go and slump down in a chair next to Milton because it's the last one that's free. Not on Milton's lap, like I just accidentally moved.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's a very Darcy thing to do.
He'll look over at Graham, disguised as a raven, and he'll just kind of go, "That's kind of insensitive."
Crowford was a crow.
Well, that's close enough.
No. Leave Graham alone.
Who's
Absence. This is Graham. Graham. This is Absence.
If we make eye contact, he'll have to make a wisdom save. Really sorry.
Would you like to roll for Graham?
Wisdom. Saving throw.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what the
13. It was unlucky 13.
Oh, it's fine. He's 15.
Fine. Yeah, I'll try not to look at anyone. Absence will be trying not to make eye contact with anyone. So where are the children? I got justice for them. And he'll take out a bag of gold and drop it on the table. It's not much, but it should give them a start in life.
Oh no, it's good timing. It might help them repair the orphanage so that they have somewhere safe to stay.
I'm sure it's enough to do that.
What
happened?
There was an attack on the town last night. A number of vampires. They targeted the orphanage, but we were able to get all of the children out and into the church. We couldn't avoid some of the damage, though.
I thought they'd be okay with you all here, so that's why I wasn't afraid to leave you on your own for a while. I'm glad to hear they're okay. What happened? What? There's bodies everywhere there. Buildings burnt down.
Hello, Absence. Good to see you. Good to see you back. The town. It seems it was a retaliation of sorts. I think you know what was happening here. Burgomaster was forcing festivals and joviality and the like, and I don't think it went down too well. But he's no longer in power now.
Who is?
Well, it looks like it's going to be Lady Vocta, but I don't think anything's 100% certain yet.
Is she better? Or
I don't know.
One tyrant with another.
I don't think she's the ideal candidate by a long stretch.
I think she's worse.
So she burned the houses, she burned the orphanage.
No, it would seem that's come from the direction of the Baron, the Count. one of his wives, representatives, introduced herself. She was acting on her behalf, and this was a message.
Give me the names. Write them down in the ledger. Strahd. You'll see Absence will unwrap one of his arm wraps, and you will see like intricate writing, which looks like it's in Infernal. And there's lots of little individual words. They almost look like tattoos, like scar tattoos. And he will take a tiny little knife and will start writing something in Infernal in his arm. Blood. Strahd. Who else? You'll see a few of the names are crossed out.
You know, Absence, so I'm sure I could get you some paper and some ink if it might be a bit more convenient. I don't know. I'm not here to judge.
This helps me focus. To focus. I need to stay focused.
Well,
If I lose concentration, if I lose focus, then bad things happen. So I need to do this.
As long as you're okay. And it is good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. You can finish writing the name Strahd in Infernal on his arm. Very nice script. It looks almost, once it's healed, it will probably look quite attractive. And he will find his arm wraps back round, and you'll see they've got lots of blood stains on them.
This group's fucked up, y'all.
This place
we
does
got
deal.
issues. We got deep
Group
issues.
name suggestion is damaged goods.
You eat your
Pretty good.
boring, but after the day and night you've had, sustaining porridge. What would you like to do?
I feel that it could be worth investigating some areas of the town more closely. The ones that were the focus of the attacks.
They would.
Going to introduce me to your elf friend.
Oh, we met, I think.
Have we?
Did Absence leave before or just after we went into town?
We went through the whole orphanage ordeal with Absence.
Then he went.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
You have met Darzin yet.
Okay. Absence will look at him for a minute and then realise he has met him, and he'd be like, sorry. Sorry. My memory's not good.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm tired. And you look like you've been up all night too.
Well, no, but wine helps make it look like that. If we're going to look around town, I'd like to check out the Burgomaster's house. If Isaac was there, I'd really like to rummage through his stuff, because he seemed to know me beforehand, before I came here.
Are you drunk?
Yes, very.
Are you drunk from last night? And you were that drunk that you're still drunk this morning? Or did you start early?
I started very early.
A bit of both. Not sure breaking and entering when you're hammered is a good plan. I'm not sure breaking and entering full stop is a good plan.
The Burgomaster and the Baroness are in the stocks, so I don't think there's really anybody to prevent us from going inside.
Who's in charge now?
Pay them a visit on the way. See what they have to say for themselves.
Lady Voctor is in charge now, see?
For the time being.
I'm not sure I trust her much more than I trusted the Burgomaster.
I don't trust her at all.
No.
We found the bones that consecrate the church grounds in her house. The vampires that attacked were in a storage unit that was being paid for by her. It all seems a bit too contrived.
Well, I think she's absolutely behind the whole debacle that happened.
Which means she is far too closely connected to the vampires and therefore to Strahd. And I'll side-eye Dars in with that one.
Well, in a similar vein to our last night's conversation, as distasteful as it might be, do we need to make an ally of her as well?
I think it's safest we just don't make an enemy of her.
Well, agreed.
If
I think
found
we
any
would do
leads
well
to-
not to. Sorry, Absence, please go on.
No, I just was wondering if you found any leads to getting us out of here. This place kind of eats away at you.
The closest we've come to so far is it seems clear that the mists that control passage in and out of these lands are under the direct influence of this Strahd character, and up until yesterday we had no leads, but there is a chance that we have a connection to him, with him. Maybe we can gain audience, maybe we can, I don't know. Our friend Daz in here has a previous connection he'd forgotten to mention to us.
No, it's not the type. I didn't forget to mention. It's just not the type of thing you go around announcing.
Okay, I stand corrected. He chose not to tell us about it. And there's
This Voctor is his ally, then should destroy her.
I like his style.
I've seen what comes after here. Nothing comes after. So I'm gonna die again. I don't want to die here. We have to kill everyone in between us and Strahd to get out of here. Then let's do it.
Since our outlook was no different before we entered the windmill, and I think that changed my outlook on things. It was, prior to that, it was all very clear for me. Source of evil, source of wrongdoing, should be purged, totally erased, cleansed. We went up to it. It doesn't mean I didn't want those things to happen, but we just physically couldn't do it. And I worry we're going to make the same mistake twice. It's all very well saying, yes, these people are bad, these people are evil, and slamming our fists down on the table, finishing off our ale and marching off into certain death again.
I'm not suggesting we just march off and straight to the castle. I'm suggesting we learn what we can we have to torture a few of his allies, then so be it. Loosen their tongues.
Collecting information first is better than just rushing in there.
There's no afterlife here. I don't even think some of the people have souls here. So you don't need to let your conscience weigh heavy.
With my conscience, it's about making sure I'm alive long enough to see this plan through and get out of here so I can return home.
See you all home.
Would you like me to take you to the town square first?
Why not?
Let's go
Guys,
and
there's some
laugh at
more
Baron
coffee.
Targus. Dawson will have to take a detour to go and get his stuff out of his room. At which point he would also dig out that little note he left in his room and probably firebolt that into non-existence.
Sure.
As we walk along, Absence will definitely be trying to sort of stay in the middle of the crowd and not be seen, really. And he will keep glancing at Alexander. He's kind of trying to see if he's been burned. It's like the dream keeps playing on his mind and he keeps looking to see if there's any scars there. But because he's trying to hide his face, it's hard to do. Hard to look.
Alexander himself's also going to seem quite distant. He'll be kind of trying to look at all the faces walking past, seeing if he can maybe catch a glance of his sister.
I'm not going to make you roll a perception check. Every now and again, there's children in the streets, and for just a moment your heart leaps as you think maybe, but they all have dark hair. Sorry, I should describe things, innit? So, oh, you need to be there.
Just a dark street.
Lovely job, and forget that you. Yeah, that's.
Hey.
Holy shit.
Oh shit.
Ooh, yeah. It's not good.
I mean, no, Olaf saw it, not you. So Darzin will have seen it, and I mean, you'll have caught glimpses of it in the window. But yeah, it looks like everyone that was killed in last night's fun has been assembled here in the town square. There are people standing over bodies, people just sitting and staring at the burgomaster on the platform. As I said, there'll be a notice board. There'll be a person at the notice board, probably putting up a sign with the list of dead, as it's nearby. 2 limp figures in the stocks, and the Baroness is awake and talking. Well, I don't say talking, just sort of head hanging there whilst Father Lucian feeds her some porridge.
Alive then. Unless he's just cruelly smearing it on her face.
No, she's eating it.
It's so dark, this campaign.
Here comes the aeroplane.
You can tell Milton's the goodest boy though, because that's smearing food on someone is dark. It's as dark as it gets. He would feel guilty forever for doing that.
It's not smearing food on someone, it's smearing food on a dead corpse.
Yeah.
That's the dark bit.
Oh,
Trying to
okay.
feed a corpse.
There's too many people here. I'll stay here. I can't be in crowds. It's not safe.
I'll approach the father. Ask him how things are. Back at the church, and what the feeling of the townsfolk are, if he knows.
He has heavy bags under his eyes, sort of ash and mud-stained vestments now. I have been going between here and church. Everyone there is... There are some injured, but I know Lady Voctor is setting up an infirmary in the north. They are going to move them. But otherwise, the children from the orphanage are okay. Irina is okay. Lydia... Everyone is very angry. I don't want them to do to her what's... And he'll sort of nod over at the Baron in the centre.
How's he looking? Alive?
You've gone up and you're stood next to him. He definitely looks unconscious and bloody.
Can I check his pulse?
You can. He dead. Want to do a medicine check?
Yeah. I can remember how to do it. Here it comes.
Oh, very good. Trauma to the head. He's got some broken bones and a lot of blood. There's a caved in bit of his skull, and he's surrounded by rocks. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Has he got a lot of mushed in porridge around his mouth?
No.
Oh, damn it.
There's some on the rocks, like some people were trying to do it from a distance.
Okay. I just look down and shake my head back to the father. And the lady? Similar injuries?
I managed to talk some people down.
There were no guards here last night.
There were, it's just people. And when it happened, no one stopped it.
Seems the human condition is the same from land to land.
I don't know about where you've been from, but I didn't stop them either.
You were here?
He had a lot to answer for. Strahd has been through a lot this past 24 hours. These past years.
Well, you know the history of this place much better than I, and if you've lived here you will have suffered any wrongdoings that was done here, but it's a fine line when you begin to make your own laws and rules of justice. I make no judgment on you, Father, but I would think on it.
I
And
have.
I'll just.
Sorry.
I was going to walk away until I heard him start to reply.
I have thought on it all night, and last night what mattered was keeping my sister safe.
Sister. That's his sister.
That's his sister.
Well, shit the bed. Well, you know it's only a matter of time. You can't stay here 24 hours a day.
I will wait until Vokta comes. Whoever. Hopefully they will release her.
Well, I wish you well. And your sister.
Thank you for everything you did last night.
Well, thank you, Father. Without the church, I think the casualties would be much higher. I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon. I'll go back to the group and tell them he's dead.
Whilst Milton was doing that, I would have just been keeping an eye out on the crowd. Is there anyone that seems suspicious or just doesn't seem to be milling around with the same
Intent.
Yeah.
Mourners have. Perception?
Perception. Not great. 12.
Not that you can see. No one is Pink Panthering it across the square. Most people seem to be mourners. Every now and again, people pass through, and will take a moment to look at the Baron. To have sort of a moment of contemplation. Everyone, yes, there's people checking notice board, checking the bodies, and yeah, there's nothing untoward openly. It's what you might expect.
Okay.
Lysander, could you give this money to someone that can children?
We can take it to them
It's not
shortly.
much, but every parent has sold their child has given some money for their future. If you can give, there's a list of names in there. Those that aren't with us, their share can go to those that are alive. I don't want to go into the crowd. Did you see
Don't
that
worry,
it
we
gets
will.
to someone?
We will take it to the church later, and there's there are people looking after the children who I do believe have their well-being at heart, and we'll figure something out.
Really glad you didn't get burned. I thought you'd got burned.
So am I. It was very close. You would think that I'd learned
Did
not to
nearly
run
get
into
burned.
burning buildings by now.
So you were in the fire. It's just a dream.
Right.
It was me that burned you.
You've never burnt me, Absence. The orphanage was on fire when I had to go in. It was not of your doing.
Let me get you home. I promise somehow. Figure this out. Get you home to your family.
My getting home is not your responsibility, Absence. I know you might feel that way, but
it is. This place is wrong. You need to put everything right. You're going to do that. You, Milton, Mick, you'll all get justice. You'll all get the future you deserve, not the one that we will have here. Find a way. It's my
and
purpose
so
now.
will you.
I don't plan to stay here. The longer we're here, the more it eats away at you. Feel it every day we're here.
Well, we shouldn't dwell on that. We have things to do. Come on, we'll grab Milton and... where the bloody heck has Darzen got to again?
Let's Mick as well.
Oh my god.
If you
It's just
turn
over
around,
there.
yeah, if you turn around to look, Dawson's probably leaning against the wall, going.
He appears to be puking in a flower arrangement.
How early did he start drinking?
I don't know.
Mick is gonna cast silent image to hide him. Project the image basically of just the wall, or maybe someone just sitting there, mourning.
To next.
Should we just leave Darzen there? I'm not sure he's going to be much help today in the state that he's in.
Well, am I sober now? After we've had breakfast and he's had a little throw up.
Yeah, you can be recovering. Yeah.
Yay.
You keep drinking. Yeah.
I think it could be useful to check the Burgomaster's house before the lady gets released and before anyone is able to pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, I think
It's about this Voctor's house.
The Voctors would be there, so that would be far more difficult. And
well, we have
Mick is-
already. Yeah, had a look around there.
That's
Not
why
to
you
say-
suspect this coup is they're doing. If
yeah,
they've done this, we can't let them get away with it. We can't just stand by.
no, but we also don't yet truly know that it was their doing. Nothing here quite makes sense.
Okay. Find out what we can then. If we find out it was them, we deal with them. If it wasn't, they have nothing to fear.
I'm gonna delete you and put it all in again because you looked up. Blah blah blah.
I'm gonna keep growing with me, but in Raven form.
Right. Mick, where are you?
Kind of in the hope that it actually kind of reassures Absence a little bit.
Oh god, two
no.
kinds of music at the same time.
Oh no, that's no. Roll for initiative, did you say?
No. I haven't changed the automatic music playing from when you could have headed to these places during the feast. Cool. Where are we? We're at the Burgmaster's. This is a long document now. It's not far away to walk. When you arrive, there's a couple of people stood outside, one in guard's uniform, one a young boy. And the door is wide open. You can see lights are on. It's daylight, but there's movement inside. Oh, and a big bloodied patch of grass just outside the front house as well.
Go on, Alexander. Talk us in.
Alexander's just going to try and walk on in.
The boy will pipe up. What are you here for?
We have been sent by Lady Voxer just to do some basic checks of the house.
Roll a persuasion. Or a deception, whichever you're better at.
Fine. 16.
He'll just nod at you and sort of gesture to go in. He, like everyone you have seen today, is looking very tired.
Oh, where have I put Graham?
You don't have to bring him round with you, and he's
Yes,
probably
I
not
do.
going to do anything. Okay.
What I'm then going to do is I'm going to ask him to just keep an eye out on, like, as we wander around, if he's in, like, the main hallways as we go. If he could squawk if anything starts to... If shit starts to go down, just to let us know. And he can do... He can...
Going down now?
I believe that was just a practice,
Oh,
Milton.
It is
Graham,
a very good omen that you have a raven with you, Alexander.
I'm not sure you'd say that if you truly understood him, but that's a talk for later.
Yeah, you step into a hallway with a fine, luxurious carpet rug running the distance of it. You can see maybe at the end of the hall some people preparing food. If you walk through, or if Graham walks through, majority of doors are open. There's some people in what appears to be the dining room just eating. Let's just call it more porridge. Everyone's eating porridge today.
the porridge kind of day, I think.
Okay, so we've got one closed door.
Yes. And you're bottom right. If you approach, this woman just sort of over her shoulder will say, "If you want food, just wait in the dining room. More is coming in."
So this just seemed to be somewhere that's now being used to feed and house the people that... Yeah.
Look at you all with your freedom over the place, going, "What's in here?" If you walk into that room, you will see the curtains are closed, so it is still dimly lit, and there are 4 beds, 3 of which are occupied. Someone,
Just
one of them will
sleeping
probably
people.
just stir. Yeah.
I'll apologise. I will back out.
I think somebody needs to try and slip upstairs and maybe try and find their bed chambers or personal effects.
I don't think we so much need to slip as to just walk straight on.
Yeah, let's go.
Apart from Absence, who will do it stealthily. He'll
I'm
hug
just
the wall.
trying not to be seen. That's all. Just
Don't
like
be suspicious.
people-
Don't be suspicious.
you know, that kind of thing where people look the other way and then you walk across, that kind of thing. Not like hiding, but just trying to time it so that the least amount of people see it.
It's like Assassin's Creed social stealth.
Mm.
I do not have a token with sight.
Coming, they're coming, they're coming.
Thank you. Got Graham.
Always forgetting someone. Who is it? Milton. There you go. The thing about having maps, lovely maps like this, is I forget to describe. I mean, it's a corridor. What do you want from it?
Baroque style furniture.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, Darzin's in. Darzin's stop. Let's stop there.
What's the game?
Use that pause button.
all of the rooms are open. Fuck's sake, you know, Absence is in. Jesus. We'll start with Darzin. The room you have opened is probably the one that you wanted. Let me go if I can find it. There's a lot of rooms in this place.
I could see the dolls from the hall, so I beelined straight for it.
Yeah, you walk into a room. There are just dolls everywhere. Some on bookshelves, others arranged in like neat rows on the floor. Some on top of the bed. What's weird about the dolls is that they all seem to be variations on these 4 recurring visual concepts, one of which is like the doll you found, which looked like you. Pointy-eared, dark-haired, goatee wearing little doll. Another doll that you are seeing is significantly smaller than the others. They're always a smaller size. They have blonde hair, sometimes braided, sometimes not. Sometimes they have a beard, sometimes they don't. But generally they always have a smiley expression and are wearing armor. Third one that you're seeing has brown skin and they're bald. They have no hair. And isn't wearing any armor or doesn't seem to be carrying any little plush weapons. And the fourth one has pointy ears, short black hair. A lot of them, he has a bow. And because it's a doll, like the very basic expressions, like angry eyebrows.
So, from that description, does it look like there are multiple different versions of Darzin dolls? Well, this is incredibly unsettling and kind of shit scary. He's going to do his best to ignore all of them, and he's gonna poke around to see if he finds anything useful.
Is the game paused just for me?
No, it paused it for.
It was paused when everyone started going into
Right,
rooms.
awesome.
I was like, we'll do one room at a time. Does it?
Investigation check. It's an 11.
What are you looking for?
Anything that might indicate why there are lots of dolls of me and 3 other people, like any notes or pictures or journals or...
You will find lots of wine bottles. Oh, okay. See you, Nick.
About
Are you buying it?
You'll find lots of empty wine bottles, like under the bed, clothes in the chest. No books, not really any. No pieces of paper with writing on. No diary or anything like useful like that. He's not a person who seems to read or write very much. There are, frankly, adorable drawings. Like, clearly he drew these pictures of these characters and then would give them to Blinsky and he would fashion them for him. There's a lot of those papers floating around the place. But that's all you would find. If we say you take a moment just on the bed, sitting there, staring at all these cuddly toys of you, all of a sudden your vision will blur
Are
and
they
there will be
all
this
dolls
whooshing
in?
sound in your head. It's lots and lots of dolls, all look like these 4 characters over and over again, with slight variations, like maybe one has an earring, or one doesn't have a weapon, or that one's hair is slightly shorter or longer.
You said something about my
Yes,
vision blurring.
your vision will sort of blur as these button eyes swim before you, and you'll sort of get this whooshing sound in your ears, and suddenly you will just find yourself pulling your head out of the water, and you're looking into the face of this bald, muscular male human who is holding you by the scruff of your shirt, saying, "We need to go." And you weigh nothing at all. He continues to hold you by the scruff of your shirt and lift you up and sit you out on the edge of this pool of murky water, and you realise you are in the basement chamber in the death house.
Okay.
He turns around after he puts you on that ledge and goes back into the water, fishing around for this bobbing hilt that you can see of a sword, and from behind him you can see a grotesque shambling mound of limbs that we once knew, this amalgamation of bare muscle and skin and bones and teeth and hair, and it's lurching forwards to try and sort of swallow up this man that just saved you. Want to do anything?
Probably help. I guess.
You can like grab his arm and try and pull. I'm gonna do like a straight strength check or something. Straight strength, yeah.
3.
Never mind. You pull, but your hands are wet from just being in the water, and you feel his arm slip from your grasp, and he being pulled into this horrifying mass, like sucked in, and there's just this brief moment where he gets his chin above the water and he locks eyes with you, and he says, "Ericard, it's okay." Bob's down, struggling against this creature, and as he comes back up, he says, "Run."
Yes, I'm hauling us.
And you are running through the halls of the death house, and you come back on the bed. Guess we should finish there because it's gone 10.
Well, shit.
Indeed.
Would you abandon your friend to be taken by the shambling mound in Death House?
Apparently, I abandoned all of them.
Saved you, and you abandoned him.
Well, it would have been a paradox if you'd have killed it, wouldn't it?
We finally found a point where Jim isn't the goodest of good boys.
Oh yeah, he's really turned the corner here.
Yeah, he's the naughtiest of boys now.
He's the baddest of
He's
bad
a
boys.
really naughty boy.
I don't know
Well,
if he's
that's
a
exactly
bad boy,
what
but I think he's
Strahd
a
says
naughty
to
boy.
You naughty boy.
Dear, oh dear.
I don't know what I expected you guys to do this session, but I'm not gonna lie, I thought it'd be more than that. I was so worried.
You obviously have a lot higher opinion of us than
Yeah.
we
Not
do.
that I didn't appreciate the RP. I ate a lasagna. I ate 2 churros. I answered my door. You know, it was an active episode for me.
The moment people went, well, no, we're having this conversation right now. I was like, right, well, this is going to be the majority of this session.
I was sat there going, backup character?
Yeah, I was starting to
No.
wonder if we had a backup character.
Oh, I have plenty.
Jim always has
Yeah.
backup characters, but I was like, oh, if this goes down badly, I'm not going to introduce a backup character until
Yeah, well, it didn't go down great, so
who knows when.
No. It was a good call saying, do you want to come back in? Because this might take a while. Luckily, there's no carriages at night, so I had to come back in.
You don't know where you're going. He just walks off like an emo boy.
Well, yeah.
With his collars popped.
He's going to talk to his people about things. Vague, undefined things that are an excuse to leave.
he just doesn't like hanging around with an imp.
I've missed Graham so much.
He's so good.
Oh, the distrust is big now.
At this point, I'm like, Milton, Alessander, I feel like you two should go off and do your own thing, because everyone else is well on their way to hell.
Being Raven lofted.
Yeah, good.
Oh, thanks for playing. I guess we should
Thank
stop
you.
the stream. It's Theros tomorrow, isn't it? So no stream tomorrow.
Yeah, so no streams. Awesome, I shall stop it then.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Pete.
Bye-bye. Well, I should probably raid someone with all 3 of the viewers. Which are probably us. But I don't really know how to do it.
One is me.
Anyone there? Is it you? One's you.
One's Jim.
It's Jim. Okay. Oh, I shan't bother. I'll just stop it there.
Who's the third one? Who's the third one?
I don't know who the third one is. I don't know how to do it. Jim, you're the streamer. How do I do it? How do I send you and Steve to another stream?
I'll have to try and remind myself of that and teach you how to do it for next time.
Yeah, I thought it was on the dashboard, but I can't see it.
I've just spotted the D&D software is listed as 0.8.9. A bit out of date there.
Yeah, it's 9 point something now, isn't it? Raid channel. There you go. Channel Q5. Pick a live channel.
Everyone's really tired, aren't they, tonight? I'm goosed.
They got 3.7
fine.
thousand, 3.7k viewers, so I don't think they'll notice the 3.
No.
They'd be like, oh, whoa, back up the servers.
It pinged you off somewhere else.
It has, yeah.